Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about in regards to our family store is probably location. Now we know that the location is in our home, that it's not like we have a separate building for a grocery store. Um, but just like in real estate, the first rule of success is location, location, location. And so we're going to talk about three types of location in regard to our preparedness, our food storage. The first location is the container. Um, Obviously, we want to make sure that the container, well, before I go into that, there are other inhabitants in your home other than you, your family, and your children, your spouse and children, who want to eat your food, or at least affect your food before you get to it, such as rodents, insects, microorganisms. And so we need a container that discourages their entry. The first location is make sure that the container is probably either glass or a metal or a hard, not hard, but heavy plastic with a tight lid. So the second location would be the shelf. That shelf could be your pantry there in the kitchen, or it could be the shelf down in the storage room, or wherever it is that you're storing the food. Those non-perishables need to follow what I call, or the letters, the CCDDE. And that stands for clean, cool, dark, dry, and the environment. There are things that affect our food, the quality, the value, the nutritional value, the flavor, and it's things like dirt, moisture, temperature, and lighting, and like chemicals, or the environment that's around it. And so you want to keep those things in mind when you're placing the food. Make sure that you don't store it next to toxic chemicals or on dirt or concrete floors, because that does affect the food. So that's the second location. The third location is talking about the limits of food, and so I call it the rotation location. Believe it or not, it's just food does expire, and we are storing it, and so we have to store it in such a manner that we can get the most benefit from it. And I've known lots of people who have we've had animals over the years, and people who have donated their food storage to the animals, because they're just dumping it. It's all expired. They didn't use it. They follow the profit and they stored it, but now they have to throw it away because it's not usable, not edible, not safe. Now, granted, I know from experience, and I'm not promoting this, but the expiration date is not always the determiner whether something is safe to eat. Could be how your body responds to it or whatnot. But you want to keep that in mind, that it does expire. I remember we had a grocery run when we had pigs, where we had a contract with a grocery store, and we'd go excuse me, we'd go pick up probably 8 to 10 barrels full of produce that they had to throw out 3 to 5 times a week because it expires. Now, of course, fresh produce we know expires quickly, but it just amazed me how much had to be thrown out. And our pigs ate very well because it wasn't bad when they got rid of it, but it would go bad. So there's got to be a way in our family store that we can be more effective at reducing waste. And whether it's planning in our menus or putting it on the rotating shelves using the FIFO method, first in, first out, or, just planning to eat the food that we have. Because we've invested in it, we might as well use it. Okay, so those are the 3 locations. Another location, which I'm going to call the creative location, is in regard to those people who don't have a designated storage room that has those clean, cool, dark, and dry environment consideration. And so you have to kind of be creative. But just know that it can be done. You can store food in closets and attics, under beds, side tables, in bean bags, in works of art, whatever you can come up with to store it, and then note the rotation that you have to utilize that food so that it's not too bad. So that's my note for today. Location, location, location.